Hi everyone, we've got Robert and Alyssa from HP sitting with us today at the second day of GITEX. Would you guys like to introduce yourself for our viewers?
Maybe ladies first. Yeah.
I'm Alyssa Sutherland. I'm responsible for the inkjet printing business in the Middle East and our retail sales channels.
Okay.
So my name is Robert Dinklacker. I'm the product marketing manager for laser jets and scanners in EMEA, means Europe, Middle East, and Africa.
Okay, great. Robert, we'll start with you, and with the WebOS, is that still coming to printers, considering that HP's a little bit not too sure about?
So WebOS is definitely an operating system which is an alternative for printers as well. So this is definitely elaborated beside other operating systems we're looking into it. There's not a definite decision made yet whether we continue with it. We see the beauties of the product and the firmware, because it's an HP-owned stuff, but also the firmware we are currently having on our printers is exactly a homemade firmware. So we see clearly the future going into that web stuff, the connectivity and so on, and see the beauties that we can have a leverage from WebOS or pieces from WebOS.
Okay, all right. What about the 8500A? We didn't see any refreshments to that product. I mean, we've seen quite a new products from you guys, and that's a pretty popular printer in the region. So could you tell us a little bit about that?
Sure. It is a very popular product, one of our best sellers actually, and you can expect in the near future that you will see some refreshes in the OfficeJet line, but we're not announcing anything today.
Okay.
We are excited about our new PhotoSmart lineup. We have 3 new PhotoSmart printers and the Envy printer that we're launching today. So that's what we're in.
Okay. Envy looks something that could be the envy of the industry. I just had a look at it, and it's a beautiful printer. Could you tell us a little bit more about the Envy?
Sure. It's designed actually to take the printer out of the office and into the living space, especially in places like here in UAE where people live in small environments. You might not have a door that you can close where you have a home office. You might have your PC and your printer in a living room, in an open area, and you want to actually showcase it and not have it look ugly like a piece of office equipment when you have guests coming over. So this Envy printer, we spent a lot of time on the actual industrial design, on the look and feel of the printer, so that it would fit in a living area. It's also extremely quiet, so we know that if it's somewhere where people are gathering, we don't want it to be a loud and disruptive device.
Okay. One of the other products on display is the 3D scanning module of your printer, or the 3D scanner printer. Could you tell us a little bit more about that one?
Yeah, so the new product we're going to introduce in February timeframe is something called TopShot.
TopShot.
Yeah, TopShot. This is a pretty new design philosophy. So usually you are used to a printer with a scanning mechanism, and you scan basically and have the data available either for a copy or for fax. In this case, the design intent is really to target users who have 3D objects that would like to get into one of their applications. And the TopShot product is basically capturing 3D objects while having a pretty smart camera and algorithm built in order to really not just capture the images, but really also make something really holistic out of it. Then you would be able to process the information either when you print it out directly, because it's a typical all-in-one. Yeah, you can use it with a scan and copy, but also you can basically directly upload this information into the cloud. So with our touch screen and the application support we have on the printer, you can upload your information into the cloud, into your application you use, like Google Docs and other applications which would be available when we're going to introduce the product.
Now, from my understanding, this printer supports 3 types of wireless printing. First, you've got your email address in the cloud that it prints to. Then you've got AirPlay from Apple. And the third one is a brand spanking new one that you guys, AirPlay is for media. AirPrint is for printing. My apologies for that. The third one is direct ad hoc Wi-Fi printing. Could you tell us a little bit about that and how that works?
Well, I think most important is, first of all, that since a year we're driving the whole e-print and print everywhere where you are philosophy, which is really something which HP leads, and still I don't see the competition catching up to where we are right now. We started off with e-print, which is really being used by everybody who has basically email access, whether it's from a smart smartphone, whether it's from other devices, send the information to a public HP cloud, and from the HP cloud, this so-called ePrint center, the information goes then to the printer defined with its own email address. And all the printers we're shipping from now on will have their own email address. So every printer will be enabled to use ePrint.
Every single printer will have an email address.
Correct, yeah.
Okay.
All of them obviously have a network connection, because if a printer doesn't have a network connection, it
Obviously,
may have
right.
You have difficulties. AirPrint, as I explained also before, AirPrint is basically the development of Apple to ensure that iPad or iPhone users can basically print as well. Because when you consider the 3G, the predecessor of that product, you couldn't print something. You had captured information, and they sold it 125 million times. You have tons of pictures, then you couldn't really print it. So Apple was working with HP in order to develop AirPrint, which has ingredients of ePrint in the source code. And here you need to have a local network. So when you are in your local Apple network, you basically use the router and the network connection to print into that router and basically to one of the HP printers today. And I know that other vendors are announcing products as well, which can be used in AirPrint. But also here, HP is the first and still the company who can be used with iPads and iPhones. The third thing, which is I also call the industry first thing, it's now coming in fall, and Top Shot is one of the products covering it. It's called Wi-Fi Direct. And the beauty of Wi-Fi Direct is, if you have an HP printer somewhere in your environment, your smartphone or your laptop can basically identify the printer and then basically have a peer-to-peer connection with the printer and prints the content you would like to have directly to send it directly to the printer and prints it out. So you don't need to go through a cloud, you don't need to go through a router or something. It's a peer-to-peer connection.
Okay. Now, traditionally with printers, we've always had to install the drivers and sometimes configure them, so that pretty much goes out of the window now.
It's basically gone. When you, for instance, use AirPrint, it has a print button, and then you can find the wireless connection. When you use other smartphones, you can download an app called eMobile app, which is just basically managing your content and helps you to identify the printers and print to. But it's totally right. You don't need any print drivers anymore. But this is anyway the philosophy we have. So when you look into the whole portfolio, especially the laser portfolio and the OfficeJet Pros also will have the same. We have just one unique printer driver called the Universal Print Driver. You can basically manage a whole fleet with one single driver. And you remember in the past, for every new printer you need to download a new print driver and install. These times are gone. You have one print driver, so it's also easy to upgrade, reinstall, refine the print driver when you want.
Great. Well, thank you very much for your time, guys. It looks like the future is going to be very easy for people who want to print, thanks to HP. And have a great GITEX. And
Thank you.
Anything else to add before we go?
I would say it's important that you see the direction we go with ePrint, with all this wireless print, but also with this kind of new workflow.
Okay.
So I think that's something you should really keep in mind. That's the starting point of, I would say, a new journey, having a new extended workflow for all kinds of people, touching something, using data, manipulate data, and basically distribute data.
That's what it's about. Great. Thanks a lot.
The only thing we didn't touch on also is our apps that we have on the consumer printers. One thing that I think is really exciting is we have a new Facebook app.
All right.
So,
yeah, could you tell us a little bit about the Facebook app?
So it enables two-way communication with Facebook. You can scan a document directly from one of our all-in-ones onto Facebook. So it eliminates that step of saving it to the PC and then having to upload it. Okay. Also, you can any photo that you have saved to Facebook, you can print directly using the app. So again, don't have to get on the PC to print it. So we're finding ways to get you the content you need when you need it without a lot of steps.
So could I just stick my head in the top shot, take a picture, and maybe use it as my profile picture on Facebook moving forward?
Maybe you could, yes.
If you want to test it, we can do it for you.
No, my brain's a little more important to me right now. I'm not going to get experimental on that. Thank you very much, guys. Pleasure talking to you.
Thank you.